My mother-in-law tried to get rid of me to win the Suffering Olympics, so I gave her the gold medal in isolation. My mother-in-law Patricia was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes 5 years before I married her son, and she weaponized it into the Suffering Olympics where she always won gold. When I was diagnosed with type 1, she told people I was copying her for attention. She'd monitor my insulin doses at dinner, announcing, "That's more than you need and I'm much sicker." She even started hiding my supplies when she visited because young people over-medicate. It was horrible and I should have ran, but instead I went through with the marriage. By the time the wedding was over, she was telling relatives I gave myself diabetes on purpose, that I was jealous of the care she received. She convinced my husband I was exaggerating symptoms for sympathy. I never shake like that when my sugar drops. Started bringing sugar-free desserts made with real sugar to test if I'd pretend to spike. When I'd check my blood sugar before meals, she'd loudly declare, "I never need to check that often, and I'm actually diabetic." During my hospitalization for ketoacidosis, she told nurses I skipped insulin on purpose for attention. She even posted on Facebook about Munchausen's in young women, while I had IV lines in both arms. She'd swap my glucose tablets with sugar-free candy, then watch me struggle through hypoglycemia, timing how long before I gave up the act. The worst was when she told my boss I was faking to get ADA accommodations and nearly got me fired. Then came Thanksgiving. I've been managing well, steady numbers for months. Patricia noticed, "Funny how you're suddenly cured when no one's paying attention." That morning, my insulin felt different, thinner and less cool from the fridge, and then my blood sugar skyrocketed to 500. I took correction doses. Nothing. By dinner, I was vomiting, confusion setting in. Patricia performed perfectly and started crying as they called 911. At the hospital, she whispered to my husband, "See? She does this for drama. I've never been hospitalized for my diabetes." The ER doctor looked puzzled. Her insulin seems ineffective. Turns out she'd swapped my insulin with water. She'd rather see me in a coma than admit I had a real disease. But when I tried to explain, everyone saw a delirious woman blaming her concerned caregiver. So I decided I'd stop playing defense. If Patricia needed me to be fake, I'd give her the performance of a lifetime. I started documenting everything with hidden cameras, which were legal in my own home. Bought identical insulin vials, filled some with harmless saline, and marked them invisibly. Set up a glucose monitor that uploaded to the cloud, creating an indisputable medical record. Then I baited the trap. I started leaving my supplies carelessly around when she visited. Patricia couldn't resist. I watched her swap my vials on camera, that satisfied smirk as she helped organize my medication. But this time, she was swapping saline for saline. The family reunion was Patricia's stage. 50 relatives gathered to celebrate her 60th birthday. She started zoning in on me instantly. "You know, maybe you should check your sugar right now in front of everyone. If you have nothing to hide, then you shouldn't be afraid." She was smiling like she was giving me a chance to prove myself, so I took it. I tested my blood sugar publicly, and it came out normal. Patricia pounced at the opportunity. "How interesting. Suddenly you're fine at a family event?" I played confused, defensive. She pushed harder, louder. "I think we all know what's really going on here." That's when I collapsed. It was a performance worthy of an Oscar. Full diabetic emergency. Shaking, sweating, the works. Patricia, triumphant, announced to the panicking family, "She's faking. I know because I swapped her insulin with water 2 weeks ago. She's been injecting nothing." The room went silent. I sat up, perfectly fine. "You did what?" My husband's face went white. "Mom, you just confessed to attempted murder." I pulled out my phone and showed the cloud data. My blood sugar was perfect for 2 weeks. Then I showed the security footage of her swapping vials, dated and time-stamped. "I knew you were swapping them, so I used fake vials. But you just admitted to trying to kill me by replacing my life-saving medication." Patricia stammered, tried to backtrack, but 50 witnesses heard her confession. It was too late for her to defend herself. My husband filed for a restraining order against his own mother. The family, horrified by what she'd admitted to, cut contact. Patricia lost her job at the medical billing office when someone sent them the footage. The diabetic support group she ran for inspiration kicked her out. She tried spinning it on Facebook, but I posted the full video and people removed her as a friend. Now she manages her diabetes alone, with no audience for her suffering and no one to compare herself to. She sends apology letters my husband burns unopened.